Welcome back, guys. So, before ES6, or we can say in old JavaScript, we had only two data structures, those are arrays and objects. But now, from ES6, we have two new data structures, those are sets and maps. They are pretty common data structures in other programming languages, but now they are also a part of JavaScript as well. So now in this lecture, let's see how the sets work. Okay, so let's get into it. So the basic property of sets is to give out the unique values. And what I mean by unique values, let's say we have an array of some data. So let's pick this one. Okay. Or what we can do, we can simply copy this object and we can use it here. Okay. I need to remove the comments and then I need to store it. Yeah. So now I want to see, like, I want to get all the unique courses from front end, right? From this code school object. So let's duplicate few courses here. Let's say React again, and then Angular, we are going to use it again. And let's put JavaScript as well. One more time. Okay. So to use a set, what we need to do is we need to write it like this. Okay, and then here we can pass the iterables. Okay, it can be any data type. It can be strings, it can be array of strings, it can be array of objects, array of numbers, it can be literally anything. Okay, but it should be an iterable. So now here we will pass code school dot front end courses. Okay, let's log it out and let's see what we get here. Okay, so now we are getting a data structure set which contains four unique values like JavaScript, Angular, React, and Vue. Okay, so this is how we can get all the unique values from an array of duplicate values. Okay, and we can store them in a set. Okay, and this is not just one thing which we can do with sets. We can also check the size of the unique values. Let's say you have an array and you want to see like how many unique values are there, what is the count of the unique values in that particular array. Then what you can do, you can simply use the size property of it. Okay, so as soon as you type the size, then you will get to know like you have four unique values in it. Okay, and let me show you one more thing. Like, you don't need to pass only strings in the array, you can literally pass any other thing. Let's say one, I'll put 4 times and then true and then true again. See, we are getting JavaScript one true one time, Angular, React. So this way we are getting just six entries, we can say. Okay, in these sets. So apart from this size, we have few other methods as well. Those are like, if you want to add something in a set, then how you can do it? You can add it like this. Because in modern data structures, in modern JavaScript, the methods are pretty straightforward. It is not like in the array we have push, pull, all those things. It is pretty straightforward. If you want to add something, you can simply use the add method. Okay, so I want to add hi. Then if we console log it, let's see what will happen. Okay, so if we expand, I think this one we have to expand. Yeah. So here we are getting high as well. Okay. So now we have seen add already. So let's say if you want to check if some property exists in the particular set or not, how we can do that. So for that we need to use has. Okay. So it is something similar to includes which we use in arrays, if you remember, right? But we will talk about the arrays methods in detail a little bit later. So here in sets you can use has method. What it will do, it will check if the particular thing is present in that set or not. See, as soon as I wrote JavaScript which is already there in the set, it is giving me true. Let's write something else. Let's use instead of JavaScript, let's use let's say PHP. Okay, so we started getting false here because it is not there in the set. Okay, so we have add, we have has, and we also have remove. Okay, so in remove, what we have to do, we simply have to write, let me clear this, dot, it's delete, sorry for that. Okay, so in delete, what we have to do is we have to pass the data which we want to delete from the sets. Okay, so here we have passed delete in it, and then let's actually now let's log it out and let's see what happens. Or I think we need to store it in the array because we are deleting it directly and we are not storing it somewhere. Okay, so we have to store it in some variable. Set data, we have stored it here, and then what we have to do, we have to use it in the set data, because right now we are just creating a new instance every time and then we are applying those methods directly in it, so it won't reflect in the actual array, right? So now let's see, if we delete something from the set data, then what we will get in the set data. Okay, so now it contains only the 5 entries in it. It have removed the true from the sets data structure, as you can see. Now I want to remove one more thing. Let's say I want to remove this view, and VUE, all right. So now it contains only 4 entries, as you can see here. Okay, so this is how all the basic methods work in these sets. We have one more method which we can use, but that is not that common to use. Okay, let me show you that as well. So that one is called clear. So what it does is it basically clears your data structure. It clears your set, or we can say it removes all the entries from the set. Okay, so these are all the basic methods for the sets, and of course you should work with the arrays because it contains most of the important methods and properties. Like if you want to access some what we can say values in the array with some index, for that you need to go with the arrays, because in sets you won't get the index, you can't access the elements based on the index. And let me show you what I mean by that. So in arrays, how you usually access the elements, you access, you can access based on their index as well, right? So let's say you can access it like this, JavaScript. Okay, but it is not the case with sets. If you want to access it like this, you won't get anything, you will get undefined. And that actually makes sense because set is not something which we use to pull out the values. It is to store the unique values and to check if the value exists or not. If you want to pull out the value, then you should go for arrays. Okay? And if you want to work with the indexes, you should obviously go for the arrays because sets you won't get indexes. As you can see here, they are not stored in the arrays, indexes. Okay? So now I'll show you a little cool trick here. So let's say you have uh, coding school front-end courses which contains the duplicate values. Let's remove it quickly. So right now it have array of strings which contains JavaScript 2 times and then Angular 2 times and then React 2 times and Vue. Okay. So you wanna pick out all the unique values and you wanna put them back into the array. Then how you can do that? How you can achieve that? So what you can do is you can write it like this. So we have created a set of it and then we have stored it in the array and then you can store it back into the front end courses like this. Or let me write it down here. Equals to, you have to use an empty array and then you can use the spread operator. If you remember this from the one of the previous lectures, okay? And then you can use this variable here. What it will do, it will spread your sets into the individual elements and it will store it into the array. And if you remember from the one of the past lectures, that spread will work in all the iterables and set is an iterable here, as you can see, right? Because we can iterate over sets and I'll show you that as well within few minutes. Okay, so this way you can set the unique values again back into an array. And now if you log this code school here, see, we are again getting JavaScript, Angular, React, and we are not getting Vue for some reason. Okay, we are not getting it because we have already deleted it from here. Okay, so now we are getting JavaScript, Angular, React and Vue. So we are getting all the unique values and then you can use all your JavaScript arrays methods and properties to access it or do any kind of operation in it pretty easily. Okay, so now it's time to iterate over the sets. As I have mentioned already, we can iterate over the sets as well because it is an iterable, obviously, right? So let's iterate it. I'll use the for of loop for this. Data of, and I'll pass the set data and let's log it out. Okay, so let's see what we are getting in the data. So now as you can see, we are getting all the individual elements of the set data which we have stored here. Okay, so I would recommend, like, you should keep in mind that we have something called sets in JavaScript as well. But if you want to go with some complex data manipulation or something, you should go for arrays. And we will learn about arrays in one of the future lectures in more detail. But you have to keep in mind we have something like this which we can use to pick out the unique values, to get the unique values, and to check like how many unique values we are getting in the particular data structure and so on. Okay, so this is it for this lecture, guys. So see you in the next one.